know him from the Smiley Morning Show. Now he's got his own show. Radio Theology is on ZPL. Here's Pub Pastor Darren.
September 22nd, 2019. It's Radio Theology. And you know what that date means, guys?
What's that?
It means it's fall.
Officially.
The autumnal equinox is upon us. Sorry, guys. I went to bed reading encyclopedias as a child.
You know what? It all makes sense. That's Ryan Allward. I'm Darren Earlywine. That's Lisa Graft. We are Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. And good morning, Indiana. Man, oh man, are we glad to be with you this morning. It is fall, guys.
Yeah, I love it.
And Ryan, I know you, we've established the fact here on the show you are SPF albino.
That's right. I was not built for the sun.
And so you're glad about this fall season.
I'm so pumped, man. I feel the chill in the air. I'm like, oh, this is my time for me and my fellow people of melanin deficient skin. It's going to be so fun. I love fall in Indiana.
There are some good fall feels, Lisa.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love it. Just the crisp air. There's just something about it.
Say it again.
The crisp
autumn
We were in the 60s this morning when we woke up. It did feel nice. It did feel nice.
It's going to be an amazing fall. I'm sensing it in my spirit.
You know what we might need? We might need for our good folks, for you. We love you. Every week you listen to us.
We do.
We love being with you every morning.
Yeah.
You might need something to kick it off, like a starter kit for fall.
Oh, okay.
We on the show, we are, you don't know us, you just listen. We are somewhat stereotypical white people.
Yes, from Indiana.
From Indiana. You're listening to three Caucasians that fit a lot of cliches who also happen to be Christians.
Yes, that's right.
Hence the show Radio Theology.
Yes.
What we've done is put together kind of an infomercial for the seasons changing. It's fall.
Right.
We feel like maybe some other Caucasian suburban Christian folks might need some help.
Yeah.
And maybe some people that don't fit that stereotype would enjoy laughing at us.
Yes. Not only laughing at us, but with us too, at ourselves.
You know what? Let's just jump in.
Finally, fall is here. Can you smell that delightful bonfire somewhere off in the distance, friend? Oh, what's that sound? Glorious golden leaves crunching underneath your toms as you head into yoga class. This fall, make sure you're fully prepared for the changing seasons with the Autumn Starter Kit for Caucasians, brought to you by the makers of Flat Front Khakis. The Autumn Starter Kit for Caucasians comes with an adult coloring book, a happy yellow lab named Buddy, and a scarf so big you can wrap your entire cul-de-sac in it. But wait, there's more. You'll also get a pair of tickets to see Ed Sheeran in concert with your friend Kelly, an apple cider scented Yankee candle, and a gallon-sized pumpkin spice latte you can drown yourself in all day long. The Autumn Starter Kit for Caucasians is also available for you churchgoers out there who are looking to enhance your worship experience as the seasons change. This special edition features an I'm Enough coffee mug to keep your hands toasty and conveniently occupied as the offering plate comes by. A sleeveless zip-up vest that doubles as a floating device in the event of a spontaneous baptism. And an organic, gluten-free single serving of flatbread, perfect for when you don't want to wait in line for communion. The Autumn Starter Kit for Caucasians. Get yours today on your third trip to Target.
Hey, guys. Kanye West, Florida Georgia Line, and the Biebs are all coming to your church this weekend.
Oh, man. That whole lineup sounds like a Mad Lib.
Well, they may not be at your church, but they might.
All right.
We're going to talk about it next. Don't go anywhere. It's Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Introducing your new pastoral staff at your local church. Senior pastor, Kanye West.
Oh, my.
Worship pastor, Justin Bieber.
I could probably get down with that.
And your youth pastors, Florida Georgia Line.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
I'm going to that church.
That's a lineup right there.
Now, hey, it's Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Darren here with Ryan and Lisa. And guys, that was fictional, but it might not be.
Yeah.
And if you guys have seen, it's all over Twitter, it's all over the news, whatever. The past couple weeks, you got Justin Bieber leading worship out in L.A.
Yep.
Then just talking about following the Lord. He just posted something this week about a guided prayer thing that him and his pastor Judah Smith were doing.
Okay.
Straight fire, really good.
All right.
Then Kanye down in Atlanta last week bringing his Sunday service alive.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Ryan, you said he was even in Batesville.
He was here in Batesville, Indiana, like a private jet landed somewhere. And he was supporting a local gospel pop group that I think he's kind of either discovered or he's somehow behind them.
Right.
And there were 150 people in a barn in Batesville. One of them was Kanye West, front row, calling this band the future of music. And then he just gets on his jet and bounces.
Wow.
Thanks, Kanye.
But it was a worship concert.
Yeah.
That he was like all about.
Right, and then Lisa, you were saying that Florida Georgia line, they had Chris Tomlin come up and do one of his worship songs at one of their shows recently.
Yeah. I don't remember where they were at exactly, but yeah, Chris Tomlin came up and sang "How Great Is Our God."
Oh,
Right.
Such a
Yes,
jam.
and everybody goes wild. Like, I don't know.
Well, it's interesting. Florida Georgia line, I mean, I like all three of these artists.
Okay.
But I think some people have a little bit of an issue like, oh, really? Kanye and the Biebs, they're Jesus people now.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I was intrigued this week. So I just did some basic survey work.
Okay.
Wasn't a huge survey, but I did survey some folks.
All right.
This is Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Darren here with Ryan and Lisa. And here's what I said. I said, hey, what do you think about Justin Bieber and Kanye like being like Christians now? And I wasn't actually that surprised by the response that I received.
What'd you get?
Well, most people were pretty dismissive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, oh, really?
All right.
Like, didn't the Bieb like pee in a bucket and like say terrible things?
Yes,
Like
he did.
wreck a Lambo,
Yeah.
And like, oh, Kanye, isn't he like not a crazy guy and he sells shoes for $1 billion?
Yeah.
But it was all these things that you would think, well, yes, that they have done those things. But so I wasn't shocked by how dismissive people were. But it made me think. Every week on Radio Theology, we basically say and believe, truly, like no one's too far from God to experience life change through Jesus.
Sure.
That's right.
So we have somebody like Kanye or Justin who are saying, hey, God's love is so real, it changed my life and it's making a difference and I want to help people.
Yeah.
And we go, probably not.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't wait to watch you fail.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really.
seriously.
Well,
really-
and who hasn't peed in a bucket before? I mean,
Yeah, that's a good
seriously.
point.
Wait a second, stop the
I
bus.
think I might have peed in a sink one time in college.
I do really still love to pee outside.
Who
that's
doesn't?
It's a true
Yeah.
joy.
I was watching Sunday Night Football last week with a friend, and I was like, do you guys have like a pee tree or whatever?
yeah.
And it was funny because all the guys that were on the deck watching Sunday Night Football all understood what we meant
Yes.
is the designated place in
Yeah.
your backyard where
Yeah.
you can still be four and pee on a tree.
Yeah, it's the spruce over there. It looks
Yeah.
like it's struggling a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
No.
Bring it back.
No, yeah,
bring it
yeah.
back to topic.
Yeah.
Here's my thought. Here's what we'll play a song. Come back. Is maybe you feel like Kanye or Justin. Maybe you've got a little reputation around town or in your family, and you've genuinely been trying to follow God, change your life. And what's the problem is people keep dismissing your life changes like, yeah, right, whatever, or this won't last.
Yeah.
And you're feeling hurt, you're feeling dismissed, you're feeling misunderstood. We've got some hope for you coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Coming up next, hope for your situation right here on Radio Theology. If Jesus can't change Kanye West, Justin Bieber, and Florida Georgia line, do you have any hope?
Wow, there's a big rhetorical question right out of the gate.
That's what we do.
That's right.
Right here on Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Darren here with Ryan and Lisa. This would be a great time to jump on Instagram, maybe even Facebook. Search Radio Theology. Jump on and be a part of the growing Radio Theology community so you can be with us, not just on Sunday mornings, but every single day. Guys, we've been talking about it after the last song. Kanye West being very vocal about his faith in Jesus recently.
Yeah.
He's got his awesome Sunday service thing. His album coming out here, I think maybe it's already out. Jesus is King. Wow.
Okay.
The title of his new album.
Well, this is the Kanye West. This
The
isn't
Kanye
Kanye
West.
East like another personality.
This is easy.
Kanye West.
Yes.
Jesus is king.
Jesus is King. Not Yeezus is King.
Yeah, because for a while he was like Yeezus and I'm Yeezy, and I'm like, bro, we need to take you down a notch
Yes.
here, pal.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of humility, pal?
He hasn't, but maybe he's learning it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. If anyone could help him with that, the actual Jesus can.
Right.
Yeah, he does specialize in helping humans understand humanity and humility.
Yes.
But we've been talking about it. Justin Bieber really putting out his faith. Florida Georgia line this past month had Chris Tomlin come up and lead worship.
Yeah.
Cool stuff happening.
Yeah.
But here's what I don't like about what I see often in the Christian community. Somebody says, hey, I met Jesus and he's changing my life and I'm excited about it. And a lot of Christian people turn their nose up and kind of smugly like, well, oh, really? And I'm thinking, if you had a maybe you've done some wrong. Maybe you're listening right now, and that's where you're at. You're like, yeah, I have a little bit of a reputation.
Yeah.
Like I've got a couple divorces on board. I've got some estranged relationships in my family. Maybe I've lost a couple jobs. Maybe it's even a weight loss thing. Like, yeah, I've been overweight for a while, and I'm trying to lose weight. And guess what? I'm 15 pounds in. Whatever the thing is, you have people close to you that you say, hey, I'm changing. And they're like, okay, we'll see.
Yeah. Yep. Actually, that's so funny. I just brought to my mind my mom when I broke up with my college boyfriend, which we had dated for like 8 years on and off. It was a horrible relationship. He dumped me like 70 times.
Wow.
But I called my mom when I finally ended it, and she goes, okay, we'll see how long that lasts.
Woof.
Ouch.
And then I was like, ugh. But that did make me want to go, I'll show you, Mom, and I'll show you, Josh Fightmaster.
Wow. Oh,
sorry.
We're name
Sorry,
dropping.
Josh.
Hope he doesn't listen. Sorry, Josh.
Crazy
He's in
last
counseling.
name.
It's okay. Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. You're talking about what if you're changing and people don't believe it?
Yeah.
People don't believe that
Yeah.
Kanye's changing, that Justin's changing. Here's what we want to say to you. We at Radio Theology, we believe in you.
Yes.
Yes.
We believe in you. We're rooting for you, and we're actually praying for you because we do actually believe that Jesus does change people's lives.
Yeah, and I think, too, we're all still trying to change the things about ourselves that are terrible and broken and painful and hurtful to other people.
Yeah.
So, like, we're not saying, like, we're going to pray for you. Like, we're lumping ourselves into that big, massive prayer for life change.
Yeah, and maybe if you're one of those Christians who's like, I'll believe it when I see it, maybe get on and push someone from behind and say, I actually will believe in you.
Yeah, I'm rooting for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think, there's a scripture that says that Jesus is not only the author, but he's also the perfecter of our faith.
Yeah.
There's another scripture that promises that God who began a good work in us will actually carry it out to completion. So if you're listening and you're a Christian and maybe you have somebody around your life that is starting to make a life change, and maybe you think to yourself, oh, well, I'm not real sure. How about you give room for hope before doubt?
Ooh,
and
I
say,
like
you know
that.
what? If God believes in you and he says he will carry this on to completion, then I'm one of your biggest fans. I'm not going to pull you down.
I love it.
Because there might be some bros out there that, they've heard some Bible stories, but they need it in their native tongue.
Yeah, it's like it's the Bible for a bro, by a bro.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
if you are trying to experience life change and people are hating on you a little bit, here's a Bible Bro story that might give you some inspiration and hope. Welcome to another episode of Bible Bros.
Today's story, bros, come from the 9th chapter of the book of Acts, which you can kind of find near the back of the Broly Bible. I'm going New Testament today, Pastor Darren. Are you stoked?
I am stoked.
Lisa, what about you? Are you stoked?
Also stoked.
Let's do it. So it's around 35 AD or so, right? Jesus is back in heaven with his dad, and all these early followers of Jesus are being persecuted by this one dude named Saul.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
I know
All
that story.
So Saul's part of this group of Hebrews, the Jewish bros, Hebrews, called the Pharisees, all right? These dudes are super strict about following the law and made it a point to make sure that no one in the synagogue steps out of line. They were the same guys who Jesus had a lot of beef with because they'd totally preach one thing but do another. The J-Man would put them on blast all the time when they were being hypocritical and called them things like whitewashed tombs and broods of vipers, which probably made his disciples go, like back in 3rd grade when someone would get called down to the principal's office. But I digress. All right, so Saul the Pharisee is like, man, all I want to do is hunt down those annoying Christians and bring them to the head honchos in Jerusalem to kill them or throw them in the big house. Well, one day he's out on the road to the city of Damascus, and this crazy bright light shines down all around Saul and throws him to the ground. Saul's like, Jesus Christ, what's going on?
Whoa.
To which the voice from heaven replied, first of all, easy on using my name in vain. Second of all, why are you persecuting me, Saul? Saul was like, who the frankincense is talking to me right now? And the voice replied, Saul, it's me, Jesus, the J-Man, the one you're hunting down, bro. Now get up, go into the city, and I'll tell you what to do next. So Saul gets up, and all his bros who were with him were like, yo, what just happened? We just heard someone's voice, but no one was there. Saul was freaking out and was like, bros, I can't see anything. So Saul's bros led him by the hand, which must have been kind of cute, all the way down the rest of the way to Damascus, where Saul didn't eat or drink anything for 3 days, bro. Ooh, 3 days.
Brutal.
I wonder if they got weird looks from people on the way to the city. Don't mind us, just leading this infamous murderer right into your city. He's blind now. Saw a light from heaven. Pretty sure it was Jesus. Anyway, nothing to see here. Keep brushing your donkey. So around the same time, God spoke to this one bro named Ananias who lived in the city and followed Jesus. God was like, Ananias, I need you to come down to your neighbor's house and ask him for this bro named Saul from Tarsus. Ananias was like, you mean the same Saul who's legally authorized to kill Christians like me, Lord? And God was like, yeah, that's the guy. He's my chosen instrument to take my message to the whole world, and I will show him how much he must suffer for my sake. Jehovah, out! So Ananias goes out and he finds Saul, who, recap, has been blind and shacking up at some random dude's house for 3 days, not eating or drinking because he's so shaken up by Jesus' voice from heaven knocking him to the ground. Ananias lays his hands on Saul and prays over him, and suddenly something like scales fall from Saul's eyes, and his sight is totally restored. He gets up, eats some grub. He's like, you know what? I should probably get baptized. Boom! On the spot, gets baptized. And immediately went out and started preaching in the synagogues about Jesus being the Son of God. Everyone who heard him was like, is this the same Saul who just earlier this week wanted to murder us for believing in Jesus? Some of Saul's former Hebrews were so ticked off at his 180 conversion that they plotted to kill him now. Talk about a plot twist, bros. Whoa. But he bounced out of town before they could. Bros, we say it all the time. God is for you, not against you. He's near to you, not far from you, and he's created you on purpose and for a purpose. He wants to meet you wherever you are, show you who he truly is, and walk next to you every day of your life. For more episodes of Bible Bros and all kinds of straight fire content from Radio Theology, hit us up at radiotheology.com.
Hey, ladies! Lisa's Piece is coming up next. Lisa, what do you got for us this week?
I'm going to answer the question, are you a bad mom if you don't miss your kids?
Ooh, wow.
This sounds like a powder keg.
I'm going to stay out of this one for a second.
This will be just from a lady to ladies. Right now, we'll get some coffee.
Yeah.
Stick with us, Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Lisa, I got a question for you.
Yeah,
Or you have a question for us.
I do.
Either way, here's the question. Are we bad parents if we don't miss our kids? Here it comes. Right here on Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Darren here with Ryan and Lisa. Lisa, it's time for Lisa's Pieces. Answer this pressing, high drama question.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's kind of perfect timing now that school is back in session and we're kind of in this new rhythm. But lots of moms from the I Am Mother of the Year Facebook group, which is just a community of moms across the country that celebrate each other's wins and encourage each other. Well, one of the moms came on and said, I was with all these moms at this work conference. I only get to go once a year and it's 5 days and I'm like living my best life. And all of these moms were like, I just miss my kids. And she's like, I thought about saying, yeah, I miss my kids too. But then she said, I don't miss them at all. And I was like, 2 high fives. Like, I'm all there for this because she said the truth. Like, you're not a bad mom if you don't miss your kids.
Right.
Maybe you get to relish the time that you're away from them.
Great usage of relish, by the way.
Thank you.
I do love relish on a good broad.
It is nice. Let's not get distracted, though.
Sorry. Go ahead, Lisa.
So all to say that I loved it because the end of her story was the next day, a couple of the moms that she was telling that to, who had already said, oh, yeah, I miss my kids, said, I didn't really miss my kids, but I thought I had to say that. I'm like, isn't that crazy?
Is that like fear of judgment that other moms are going to be like, well, I'm super mom and you're not? Is that what it is?
I don't know. I think we all do that, though. We say the things that we think everyone else wants to hear, like especially if we're in a group and we think we're going to be outnumbered. But what I love is that there's so much beauty in going first and being the brave one to say, actually, no. Like, I remember saying one time, I was pregnant, like 9 months pregnant, and I told somebody, yeah, I don't really like the baby stage. And they're like, I'm like, calm down, Oprah. I mean, for crying out loud, like, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Still love my kid.
Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Darren here with Ryan and Lisa. And Lisa, I think you're onto something. That I think maybe there probably are some things we could find out in dad culture, Ryan, where it's tough to go first. Maybe you're not admitting that you're being manly enough, or like you don't really want to touch a fish you catch. Me.
Right.
And all the confession is coming out right now. I love
Honesty Hour on Radio Theology.
They're kind of scaly and slimy. I just don't
they're
like
gross. I wear those gloves. Anyway,
slaps me with its tail.
Lisa, for you, it's like to have the courage to go first and say, I don't miss my kids. But there's got to be other things. You're saying there's courage to go first because then, I mean, is it that you give other people permission to be honest too?
Exactly. Well, yes, you're inviting them into your story. You're inviting them into a genuine community. So there's beauty in that. But it's like, man, when you tell somebody you have depression or anxiety or you're going through something in your marriage, like you don't have to tell everybody, but when you tell somebody and you go first, you use that bravery and courage, and then they borrow some of that to go second and third and fourth. And that's amazing to me. And then I just think it's also our responsibility to free others when we invite them into our story.
I love that.
Yeah.
Where can people get more fire content like this? Maybe they're a mom. Maybe they're about to be a mom. Where can they follow I Am Mother of the Year?
If you hate the baby stage as well, you can, whether you love it or hate it, you can go to IamMotherOfTheYear.com.
Go check it out. Lisa's Pieces right here on Radio Theology every single week. If you missed it and you want the full version of it, you can also check it out on our podcast channel. Just search for Radio Theology. You get this week's content and then basically the last 3 years of content.
Whoop, whoop.
And it's free.
That's right, Darren.
Stick with us, Radio
Oh,
Theology.
my.
Your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Have you had a tough week? Maybe it's been a tough morning. Well, it's about to get better here on Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music, because at least you're not involved in one of these stories that only deserve 3 words, and they're this.
Lord have mercy.
Lisa, what do you got?
Oh my gosh, you guys, this girl in San Diego, engaged, she woke up in the morning to find that her ring was missing.
Oh, stolen?
You would think, and that's what she thought at first, until she remembered the nightmare where she was being chased, and she had to swallow her ring to protect it.
Oh, boy.
And she did in her sleep.
What?
And so she said they laughed until they cried about it, and then she went to urgent care because she was starting to feel a little bit of pain. They had to send her to a specialist and get it removed. They decided it's dangerous for nature to take its natural course.
Oh, I was hoping this ended with them just,
Nope.
siphoning or shuffling out the... No?
Nope, not that. Too dangerous.
Looks like is that a princess cut? No, that's a peanut. Sorry. That's a piece of corn. Sorry.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, too far.
Sorry, guys.
Well, when she recovered from the surgery, and I'm sure deeply sanitized the ring, they both said to each other,
Lord have mercy.
Ryan, what do you got?
All right, guys, a commercial flight with 326 people on board leaving Cancun, Mexico for Frankfurt, Germany had to get diverted for an emergency landing.
What happened?
Well, hot coffee was accidentally spilled all over the cockpit control panel.
Oh, no.
Smoke started to come out.
Oh, my gosh.
Turns out the captain was supposed to put his coffee in a cup holder. He just put it on a little tray.
Wow.
Folgers all over the cockpit.
Can you imagine that moment? All right, let's go ahead and pull the flaps up, head up to 36,000 feet. Can I get some coffee?
Ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed your stay in Mexico. If you look out the right side of the airplane, you'll see Cancun saying goodbye.
Oh my God! It's all over! Oh God, what do we do? Oh God, freaking out, man!
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to divert to Ireland.
Oh, my gosh. When they landed wherever they emergency landed, I'm sure he probably was put on administrative leave and said to himself,
Lord have mercy.
All right, we're going to Illinois for this last story. So there was a politician, speaking to the media about his anti-pigeon stance.
Why was he anti-pigeon?
Well, evidently there's been some pooping situations happening by these pigeons on different blue line like stations.
Oh, yeah.
And so we had the media out there, and he's talking to the reporter from WBBM-TV, and this is beautiful. He's talking about the problem, and here's his quote. Quote, "Oh, did I just get... No, I didn't. I did. Didn't I? I got a little bit." He gets pooped on by a pigeon as he's being interviewed about stopping the rampant pigeon pooping.
That is
Oh,
so
my gosh.
beautifully ironic.
He wraps it up with, "I'll just have to go clean up." And this is what happens to my constituents. See what I'm talking about? We got a problem. Wait a second, we got a call. Radio Theology.
Yeah, hello, this is Patty Pigeon from Chicago.
We were just talking about you. Were you possibly involved in the pigeon pooping situation?
Oh, yeah, that was me. We're very anti-pigeon politician pigeons here in Chicago. And you know what? I had a big one in the tank, and I just had to let it out. Don't talk smack about me and my buddies, is what I got to say.
So did you purposely poop on the politician?
Hold on just a second. I'm really sorry there. Oh, that one's going to leave a mark. Oh, God, that was dinner last night, wasn't it?
Oh, my.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Sir,
so
Daddy.
don't come into my house and tell me where I can and can't poop, okay? You're not a pigeon. I don't go into your house wherever you live and say, hey, you got to use this commode or that one.
All right, we've got to go, Pigeon. Could you send us out with this bit and just say, Lord have mercy?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Radio Theology still with you here on Sunday morning, but if they want to hang out with us during the week, Lisa, where should they go?
RadioTheology.com.
Do it now, and you can hang out every day with us. Don't go anywhere. We love you. We believe in you. And it's going to be a beautiful day. Stick with us, Radio Theology, right here on 99.5 is ZPL. You guys got any dreams, stuff you'd really like to accomplish?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
And here's what I think can happen, is we get a dream, something we think would make a difference and where we want to go after, and then right when we start to go after that, you guess what smashes us right in the teeth? Fear.
Yep.
It is your enemy. It's Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. And Lisa, you just got done hosting a conference, the Reset Women's Conference.
Yes.
That didn't suck and it wasn't precious.
Yeah.
This was a dream you had a year ago to start.
Yeah.
And it was great. You had over 100 women. Tell us how good it was.
It was amazing. It was everything that we wanted it to be. And when I say we, I had a whole team of women who we just all had the same idea of gathering women in a safe place for them to be themselves and then equipping them to walk out into their world to feel like themselves and to make a difference.
I love it. But here's the deal. Somebody may be listening right now and they're like, well, that's cool for you, Lisa, but I don't have a dream to do a women's conference, but I do have this dream. Maybe it's to get married, maybe it's to have a family, maybe it's to start my own company, maybe who knows what it is. You have a dream. But what we've talked about is that there were some pretty aggressive fears that really grabbed a hold of you and almost made this thing completely not happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, one of the biggest ones was like the scarcity mindset.
Okay, talk about that.
Which is, I think it's common among women to feel this way, but there are so many women in the female self-help, empowerment, movement that, like, for me, I thought, I have nothing to say.
Like, who am I to have a conference and what am I saying?
Right, who am I and why would it be different? Why would anyone possibly come? And so that kind of spiraled into all of this self-doubt and just really feeling like my voice doesn't matter.
And if you'd have believed that fear, the conference would not have happened.
Exactly.
So it did happen. You fought through that fear and somebody showed up?
Yeah, everyone showed up.
Over 100 women, right?
Yeah, over 100 women showed up, and it was awesome. But the other way that fear kind of snuck in, this whole scarcity thing, was to tempt me right in the beginning stages that I need to do this alone, that it needs to be like my thing.
Ooh.
And so, and I'm so glad it wasn't, because I would not have been able to do it without all of the other women in the team.
It's Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music here on 99.5 WZPL. Lisa, talking about the fears you fought through to be able to chase this dream and put on this women's event.
Yeah. And so, one of the biggest things was realizing that this was the voice in my mind that said, if you share the stage, you're going to have to share the glory. And it was like, it was spoken to me as if that was a bad thing. But now I'm like, I'm going to share the stage and share the glory, and that's awesome. But when it first popped into my mind, I was like, well, try to be really protective of this thing that wasn't even created, and it wasn't even mine. And so I was able to figure out, no, you know what? The most fun things you do in life, the best accomplishments you have, are in community. And so I gathered a team around me, and man, we killed it, and I would not have done it without them.
I think it's interesting that sometimes when we have a dream like that, the dream for you started as, how could this help other women?
Right.
But it's interesting is the temptation and the fear came as, but hey, this is really about you.
Right.
But as you fought that out, you're saying you embrace that idea of community. That's when it really flowered. That's when it exploded, and it was a beautiful thing for all these ladies to be a part of.
Yes, exactly.
Listen, for you, like we said, it may not be a women's conference, and if it's not, that's totally okay. But we believe that God has created you on purpose and for a purpose, and that means that there is a dream in you. And we want to help you get I guess, familiar with that, or at least curious about it. So when we come back, we're going to dig a little bit more on maybe some of the fears that can keep those dreams from coming to the surface. And maybe you need some help jump-starting that process. We put together a 5-day devotional that you can have for free. If you just go to IamBornToBe.com this morning, we'll send it to you for free today, and maybe it'll help you jump-start your search for purpose. So just go to IamBornToBe.com right now. I want to tell you one of the top things keeping you from becoming who you were born to be right now. On Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Darren here with Ryan and Lisa. And actually, you know what? I'm not going to tell you. Lisa, I'm going to have you tell them something that could be keeping them back, because you just got done last week doing this Reset Women's Conference. It's a dream that you had for a year to put on. You had over 100 women there. Lives were changed. It was so great. But there were a couple of lies that you were believing about yourself that almost kept you from doing it. And I think there's somebody's listening right now that they're maybe on the verge of taking the risk to chase a dream, but they may be believing one of these lies. And the last break, you said the first two lies were what?
Well, just the scarcity model that there's so many women speaking in this voice already that my voice is adding nothing. It just becomes white noise.
Yeah.
And then the other was that if I have to share the stage, I have to share the glory, and that being a bad thing to not have community around me.
Okay, so what's the third one?
So the third one was that the outcome is really up to me. So I really struggled with this because we worked tirelessly on all of the details, every single detail. Like, we wrote our talks in June and practiced and got feedback. And we did everything so meticulously that it felt like the weight of the world was on our shoulders to make sure every woman received, knew, and did with the message what we wanted.
Okay.
And what turned out to be the truth was that the outcome's not up to me. Like, I cannot control how anyone else receives it. I cannot control the mindset and the heart state of anyone that walks into the room.
Yeah.
I did what I had to do. I did it to the best of my ability. I left nothing out. And that's all I can do.
Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor here with Ryan and Lisa. And I think that's true, Lisa. We talked about here on the show before that we don't necessarily control the outcomes. We just control the obedience in our life.
Right.
So it's what does God ask me to do? It could be start a conference. It could be forgive a friend. It could be go to church. It could be start a new job. I don't know what it is for you, but there may be something that God is encouraging you to step into, and you're frozen because you're like, I don't know if I can control the outcome of how it finishes. But you're not responsible for that. You're only responsible for your step of obedience. But Lisa, I think that's tough to kind of really figure out in the moment sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. I think I actually just had a conversation the other day with a coworker who she just feels this stirring, this discontentment. And I was asking her some questions to try to figure out, just to try to help her dig into that a little more and see what might be behind that. Because any stirring that I've ever felt ends up being a good thing. It's painful and scary in the moment, but it's how I've taken those next steps to follow a dream. And so she ended up realizing that she feels like she has a voice that she's not speaking with right now. And so she talked about starting a podcast, and she was able to say, even in the thought of the dream was, even if no one listens, at least I'm doing this for me. And I'm like, exactly. That's what you need to do, because if you're finding your voice and no one else is hearing you, that's okay, because you're still getting practice speaking in your voice.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we remind you every single week on Radio Theology of three basic things: that God is for you, not against you; that God is near you, not far away from you; and that He's made you on purpose and for purpose. And as you step into that purpose, it is about you taking that next step of obedience about yourself. What happens from that, what the long-term outcome, that's not in your control, and it's honestly not any of your business. Your next step is the most important one in front of you. You guys ever seen an episode of that show, Naked and Afraid?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I have.
I was just about a contestant on said show this week,
Were you
Oh,
now?
my.
How
Yeah.
so?
except it was being filmed at LA Fitness.
Oh,
Anyways,
my.
Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Darren here with Ryan and Lisa. And so, guys, I'm working out at the gym this week.
Okay.
Finished my really strenuous workout.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was lifting all the weights.
Yeah, we can tell you're
Yeah.
looking
Well,
good over there.
Yeah, they had to just keep bringing more and more weights for me to lift.
Right.
And go in, change clothes, get everything in my locker, go take a shower.
Okay.
Come back to my locker, get my combination lock, start doing the correct combination. No dice.
Oh, did you clear zero twice? You have to do that.
I'm not sure what happened, but the lock would not unlock.
Okay.
So I'm standing in the locker room in a towel. Everything I need to exit said gym is locked in this locker. And I had this moment where I'm like, I'm not like naked and afraid, but I was like toweled and terrified. Thinking like, what are my options? I can't walk out in the gym. Excuse me, could someone help me? Like they're like, arrest
Could.
this man.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go to jail or like.
I would have loved that.
Oh yeah, you come around the corner. I'm standing right by
Hey,
like
what's up,
the
dear?
yeah.
Oh, I don't know what to do with my eyes.
Sir, watch your head getting in the squad car. Please keep your legs together. Good grief.
It was
Good grief.
the worst. So I have to flag down one of the janitor guys.
Uh-huh.
And he has to come out with these huge bolt cutters and cut my lock. Now I look like the biggest doofus. It's
Yeah.
okay, guys. I just can't get my lock off.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to give me a swirly next, I
Yeah.
probably deserve it.
Yeah.
Absolute dunce. I've never felt dumber.
Wow.
Done.
Was he able to cut the unbreakable padlock?
Yeah. It was pretty impressive how fast that thing
Yeah.
snapped in half.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's an awkward story. Here's what I need. I need some help. What I need, Ryan, I need a spiritual segue.
Spiritual segue.
Okay, so it's kind of like I was in the gym. I'm towed and terrified, and I'm realizing that I can't fix this on my own. Like, I need help,
Yes.
if not divine intervention. And I'm wondering how many times I'm in a situation where literally I can't get out of what I'm in.
Yeah.
And I just but I'm too proud to actually ask God to come help me in the situation. Because I did feel pretty stupid having to find the janitor and be like, "Hey, bro, can you cut off my lock?"
Yeah.
In
And God's just like watching you try your combination
Yeah.
over and over and over. And he's like, Darren,
Yeah.
hey, just ask me for help. I know what it is.
Yes, I can totally help you right now.
Yeah, yeah. But why don't you go ahead and just keep trying.
keep trying,
Beat
bud.
your head against the wall. That sounds fun. But when you're ready,
Yes.
You'll come
on-
to me
come
eventually.
Yep.
Yeah, because the option was I could have had I not gotten help. I'm still in my towel
Yeah.
at LA Fitness.
Yep.
There was no way to get out of the situation. So I hope you don't find yourself naked in a locker room, unable to exit the situation anytime soon. And metaphorically, if you're at a place where you're just thinking, I don't know how to get out of this situation, trust me, God has the proverbial bolt cutters of life.
Wow.
Nice.
That was really, really good. You're naked in the locker room of life.
You are. You just have to ask for help. Humble yourself. Ask for help. Trust me, it helps. Coming up next on Radio Theology, it's the 850 Thought of the Day. Coming up next on Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music.
It's the thought of the day with Pastor Darren.
Are Kanye West and Justin Bieber going to be at your church this Sunday? Well, they just might be. It seems that the Biebs and Yeezy himself are at the beginning of what could be called a very genuine spiritual awakening. In fact, Kanye just announced that his new album is going to be entitled Jesus is King. Kanye even led worship at a church in Atlanta this week and even flew into Batesville, Indiana to attend a worship concert. And as I've been watching and reading about Justin Bieber and Kanye West, it got me curious to what most people think about it. So as I got curious, I started asking people, hey, what do you think about Kanye West and Justin Bieber leading worship and possibly even preaching in your church? And I'd like to say that I was shocked by people's responses, but I wasn't. Because most of the people I talked to were pretty quick to dismiss their life change and their faith in Jesus as fake or disingenuous or possibly just for attention. And it seems that their opinions about Yeezy and Justin are basically based on the fact that they've had some pretty public screw-ups. They have a pretty bad reputation. Well, here's my problem. Every week in church, we preach the same message, that basically no one is too far from God to experience life change through Jesus. Because we believe that Jesus' love actually has the power to transform anyone's heart. Don't you believe that? I know I do. I think Jesus has the power to change my life, to change your life, to help you become a better person, maybe even become who you were born to be. Well, you may not be Kanye West or Justin Bieber, but maybe you're trying to change. And maybe people around your life are starting to doubt or dismiss or judge your efforts as disingenuous or false, or maybe they seem like they're rooting against you, that this life change for you would be short-lived. And if that's you, I want to say I'm sorry. I know that has to be painful. I'm sure it is to Justin and Kanye as well. But let me encourage you with something this morning, is that we here at Radio Theology, we believe in you, and we're actually rooting for you. We're praying for you that you would experience life change through Jesus. But here's even better news this morning. So does Jesus. The scriptures tell us that Jesus is the author and perfecter of your faith, and that he who began a good work in you will actually carry it on to completion. So if you're at the beginning of a great life change, we want to tell you, we believe in you. Don't give up. If God has started something new in you, he will bring it to completion. And guess what? The only person's opinion that actually matters of you is Jesus's. And here's what he says. He's for you, not against you. He's near you, not far away from you. And he's created you on purpose and for purpose. So keep going, my friend. You can become everything God has created you to be. This is Pastor Darren Earlywine, and that's been your Radio Theology Thought of the Day.
I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's keep going.
One step at a time, friends.
Right.
That's the secret to success.
That's what I've heard.
Hey, listen, we love being with you every single Sunday morning. If you're missing to the show or you'd like to maybe take it with you during the week, head over to our brand new podcast channel where we put highlights of the show up every week. We also put out an episode every Wednesday called Behind the Mic, where we talk a little bit deeper about what we've hit each and every week on the show. You can just go search for the Radio Theology Podcast, and it's there for you for your listening pleasure.
Indeed. While you're cutting the grass or in the car or at the gym, whatever you do while you're listening to podcasts.
Just take us with you. And while you're taking us with you from the Radio Theology Podcast, never forget this. God is for you, not against you. He's near you, not far from you, and he's created you on purpose and for a purpose. Have a great week. We love you. We'll talk to you next week right here on Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music.